After over a decade of mining comic book material for summer blockbusters, Hollywood appears to be moving on to video games. We already have Mario, Pokemon, Resident Evil, Sonic, and even some deeper cuts like Silent Hill. If this trend continues, we might yet get that live-action Turok film we've all dreamed of. But in the meantime, we'll just have to settle for Turok, Son of Stone. This is an animated production. You could call it feature-length, but at a brisk 73 minutes, it falls into a sort of runtime gray area. It was released directly to video, and while folks of a certain age might remember seeing the cover art in a Blockbuster video discount bin, it's not widely known or watched. Which is a bit of a shame, because, well, I kinda dig it. Son of Stone was released in 2008, which is the same year Turok returned to consoles. It's kind of funny how they both followed the popular Valiant-inspired games developed by Acclaim, and both decide to distance themselves from that material, but in completely opposite directions. The game emphasized the science fiction aspect, pitting Turok and his space marine buddies against a group of mercenaries on an alien planet. While for this film, the creatives leaned more into the original comics, where the character of Turok first originated. That said, I think for fans of the 90s video games, this story is the one they're more likely to resonate with. For starters, the writer, Tony Bedard, actually worked on some of the comics that inspired the early games. Also, you can see that while the story airs closer to the original vision for the character, the tone and violence is much closer to what came later. The film opens with a group of young friends playing in the forest. There's Turok, of course, his brother Neshoba, and Katori, the girl they probably both like. Their fun, Disney-esque romp quickly comes to a halt when members of a rival tribe threaten their lives. Why? Because they're the bad guys. Anyway, Turok totally loses his shit and murders everyone in a blind rage. He goes so feral, in fact, that he even attacks his own brother. This worries his tribe's elders, and naturally they exile him. After this setup, the story flashes forward many years. Neshoba, having survived Turok's attack, is the new leader. And with Katori, they have raised a child, Andar. This is a character from the Son of Stone comics. But instead of being Turok's brother, he's now his nephew. Anyway, the hostile tribe, led by a character named Chichak, has vowed revenge. Andar seeks Turok's help in defeating the opposing tribe, but he refuses. And you better believe it, they end up getting whooped. I guess it helps a lot when you bring guns to a knife fight. By the time Turok has a change of heart, it's already too late. Most of the men are dead, and Neshoba is fatally wounded. Back at the village, Chichak takes Katori hostage and taunts Turok and Andar. They pursue him into a cave, and before long, the four of them wind up in the Lost Land. Here they're attacked by various dinosaurs, including a particularly persistent Carnotaurus. Turok, Andar, and Katori soon align themselves with the peaceful Cliff people, and Chichak, using his rifle to induce awe, manages to become the leader of the cavemen. And with a setup like this, you just know violence is not far behind. The story of the film is quite good, even if a few beats are predictable. It's easy to see that Turok's gruff, uncaring demeanor will shed away, and he'll begin to care for Andar. You just know the cliff people will eventually accept our heroes, and yeah, Andar is totally gonna get the girl. But it's not really a problem. The characters are fleshed out and believable, and the voice acting is solid throughout. Even though this version of Turok is a hero we've seen before, it's a formula that works. The only real twist here is how the story treats his inner darkness. Instead of having him tame his violent inclinations, he learns that he was simply the right man in the wrong place. The Lost Land is cruel and unforgiving, and in a way, this is where he was always meant to be. Andar and Katori are a little less rich in terms of characterization and mostly exist to prop up Turok. Katori is very supportive, never really questioning him, and Andar is kind of like the Robin to his Batman, trying to win him over but constantly burdened by his own weakness and inexperience. Unfortunately, he never really steps up in a definitive way. A lot of what happens in this story is fueled directly by Turok and his opposition. We eventually learn that Chichok's father was one of the people killed by the river, which explains his motivation to a degree. But his vengeance seems too all-encompassing. He doesn't just want to find his father's killer, no. He wants to wipe out the entire tribe. This is very much in line with the violent nature of his people seen in the prologue, but it doesn't leave a lot of room for nuance. A good villain, they say, is the hero of their own story, but it's hard to see Chichok's disregard for life as anything but pure evil. And hey, that's fine to keep the story moving, but it means he never really climbs out of Saturday morning cartoon characterization. The other main character here is the Lost Land itself, and this is a very solid depiction. Like I said, it follows the original comics, so don't expect any monsters, demons, cyborgs, or aliens. This is essentially a land that time forgot, populated by dinosaurs and other prehistoric creatures. The scenes after they first arrive are all excellent and feature a wide variety of species. The Carnotaurus chase is exciting and genuinely suspenseful, as is their encounter with the plesiosaur. In general, the sense of danger is very real. Turok's skills in combat are very formidable, of course, but he also struggles and sometimes even fails, which in turn makes him seem more human while also adding to the mythology of the world. The Lost Land is a hellish place, but for a certain type of person, it can be a home. In terms of animation, don't expect theatrical Disney Renaissance level of quality. But on the other hand, it's really not bad at all. Action is fluid enough, and while the animators utilize a little bit of stylization to cut some corners, it never hurts the story. Probably the film's biggest visual strength is its character design. Everyone is very distinct and generally appealing. And that goes double for the dinosaurs. They're not super scientifically accurate, but I think they've struck a nice balance between what they're supposed to look like and what looks cool. The Carnotaurus, in particular, with its stark red and black colors, is appropriately scary. It's like a giant shadow with teeth. Yikes! And whether it was intentional or not, the music really invokes the feeling of playing the games. Hitting those wondrous swells when needed, but also tapping into tribal drums to propel the action. So yeah, Turok, Son of Stone is pretty good. If you're a fan of the material, you really can't go wrong, and to be honest, I think anyone could find something to enjoy. It's a simple story, effectively told. And hey, there's dinosaurs, so that helps too. If Hollywood ever does attempt to make that live-action Turok movie, I hope someone involved takes another look at Son of Stone. The template is here, and it works.